Throughout the series, we have seen and dealt with several different types of BOWs, like hunters, lickers, giant snakes, and of course, tyrants, such as the T-002 from the original Resident Evil, or the T-103 from Resident Evil 2, also known as Mr. X, and the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. These were all tremendously powerful BOWs, however, none of them were truly the ultimate bioweapon, the ultimate life form, a term that we have heard a few times throughout the series. And I've always wondered whether or not we would ever truly see the ultimate bioweapon within a Resident Evil game. Because take for example Nemesis. At the time, Nemesis seemed to be the ultimate bioweapon because it could take orders, utilize weapons, it could track down STARS members, and it had mutations that allowed for it to adapt to heavy damage that it would take. So with all these factors, you would think that the Nemesis would be the ultimate bioweapon, but it obviously wasn't because Jill was able to destroy it, and there have since then been far superior BOWs that have been developed. So because of those things, the Nemesis cannot be the ultimate bioweapon. And then if we want to look at something even more powerful than Nemesis, we can go to Albert Wesker and say, is he the ultimate bioweapon, the ultimate life form? Because after all, he had superhuman strength and speed, and he was highly intelligent, and Oswell was basically wanting to model a new era of humanity after Albert Wesker, and then Wesker took that concept for himself, developed Ouroboros to where those with superior genes would basically become like Wesker. And so if Wesker was trying to model a new era of humanity after himself, then he must be the ultimate bioweapon, right? But the issue is that he had a huge flaw, and it's that he had to continuously inject this serum into his body in order to stabilize his power, because without it he would start to have issues. And this was such a big flaw that Chris used it to his advantage and injected the serum into Wesker multiple times to the point that it began to act like a poison to Wesker and weaken him. So because of this flaw, Wesker also cannot be considered the ultimate bioweapon. We can even look at something like Evelyn, who had tremendous power through the mold, where she could summon mold creatures and take over the minds of those she would infect, and she was practically immortal through the Megamycete. Even she cannot be classified as the ultimate bioweapon because she had so many flaws, where she had the mindset of a child, but she was actually extremely elderly, and she was so focused on wanting a family, and she didn't really know how to properly utilize her powers. And so because of those flaws, she too wasn't really the ultimate bioweapon. Now, if you want to make an argument and say that Rose Winters is the true ultimate bioweapon, the true ultimate life form, you would have a very strong case, because after all, according to Heisenberg, even Mother Miranda feared Rose's powers. And we all know how powerful Mother Miranda was, so for her to fear Rose means that Rose must truly be the real deal. The only thing is that Rose isn't evil or corrupt, so it's highly unlikely that we'll ever really see anything from Rose. Now, Capcom could have it where she decides to switch over to the dark side, and maybe in a future installment we have to take her down, and so maybe that could happen, but it just seems very unlikely that that will ever be the case. So I don't think we'll have to really worry about Rose. But if Capcom was to ever have the ultimate bioweapon show up in a game, I think it would have to be the last Resident Evil game, because once you show off the ultimate bioweapon, you can't have anything top it, so it would have to be in the last game. And so what would end up happening is either the heroes would destroy it, and then that would be the end of bioterrorism forever, or the heroes would get defeated, and it would pretty much put the world in a post-apocalyptic era, and we'd have like a The Last of Us kind of situation where several decades pass and there's a handful of survivors left in the world trying to rebuild humanity or something like that. So that could be something that ends up happening if they were to do that, and that would give the series a new direction. But then there's also this idea here where maybe the ultimate bioweapon isn't necessarily a BOW like a tyrant or something like that, but rather a virus. Because after all, in Resident Evil 2, Chief Brian Irons declared the G virus to be the ultimate bioweapon, calling it superior to the T virus in every way. And so maybe it's that a virus emerges as the ultimate bioweapon rather than some tyrant or something like that. And if they went in that direction, that could be interesting too. But me personally, I hope that they don't really do this, because again, if they were to make something the ultimate bioweapon, whether it's a tyrant or a virus, it would just really limit Capcom to what they can do going forward. And that's pretty much nothing, because once you perfect it, you can't make anything better than it because it's perfect. So it would really close Capcom off as to what they can do going forward. It would limit them greatly, and I think they're better off basically having it the way it is now, where each installment there's a slightly more advanced sample of a virus out there, or a more powerful tyrant that is shown off or something like that, but it's not perfected. There's room for growth. I think that's what they should stick with, because I want to continue to see the series evolve and stuff. I don't want to see the ultimate bioweapon and then that's pretty much it. Now we have to reboot the series and start back over because we just perfected, you know, this virus, or we perfected this tyrant. I think what they're doing now is good, but what are your thoughts on it? Would you rather see the ultimate bioweapon show up? Maybe it's like they take the mold, plaga, and a virus and put them all three together, and it's like a trifecta thing, and it becomes the ultimate bioweapon. Would you rather see something like that, or would you rather them sticking with what they're doing now, where each installment sort of improves upon the last? Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here, and I will see you all on the next one. See you then.